If your snake plant has had babies, here's how to separate them. I'm going to start by saying this is a personal preference. They totally never need to be separated. They can always live together. It won't harm the plant. It won't slow down any growth. But if you want to separate them, here's how to do it. Okay, we've got them out of the pot, as you can see right here. What we want to do is get off all this soil because we're looking for the rhizome, big roots that look like a little U shape that connect. Oh, and it looks like we've got a little dry rot. So this one has already just kind of fell off. Maybe this isn't going to be the best example of what we want. Okay, we do have a connecting root right here. So let me show you what I mean of the root that you're kind of looking for. See how they're connected right here with the nice little U-shaped? That's what we're looking for. And if you uncover this and it doesn't have its own roots coming off of this rhizome, then you want to wait. You don't want to separate it yet. But this one has roots coming out of its own. So once we separate it from the mother plant, it can live all on its own with its own root system. Grab your pruners, sanitize them. This is isopropyl alcohol. You always want to sanitize your pruners before you cut into plants. And then you're just going to choose any spot along the rhizome and give it a nice fresh cut. Now our baby is separated, and there's two ways that you can do this. Right now we have an open wound on both of these plants. So if I were to pot them up and water them right now, they would likely rot. We have to wait for these wounds to callus over before we water the plant. So you can do two things. You can either just let them sit out just like this for a week or so and let them callus over. You can think of it kind of like an open wound. You know, when you have an open wound, we're able to put a Band-Aid on it. We can't really put a Band-Aid over this, but we can let it scab over. It scabs over so that, well, I'm not a medical professional. I don't really know if this is true, but I think it maybe scabs over so that no bacteria gets in there. And the same sort of thing is going to be happening with this, except for we don't want it to take up a whole bunch of water. Anyway, that was a ramble. Let's just wait for this to callus over. Another thing you can do is pot it up immediately, but just not water it, which is what I'm going to do because this customer is coming to pick up this plant today and it needs to be ready to go. And I don't think she'd be very happy if I was like, hey, pot it up yourself in a little while. Now you can see this root system has largely died off due to dry rot. In an effort to avoid root rot, she has gone too far and the roots have died anyway because they haven't had any moisture. So I'm going to go down in pot size a little bit so the plant will dry out quickly, have a lot of airflow, and ultimately it will recover faster. Another thing I'm going to suggest is she put the plant in bright light. You've heard me talk about in several other videos, whenever we're trying to get a plant to recover from shock, even if they can withstand low light like a snake plant, we still want to put them in bright light. Light will help them recover faster from shock. The faster we can recover from shock, the better. Mother plant. Oh yeah. Now this one that fell off does have a few tiny roots, so I'm going to actually pot these together, but I'm going to use a 4-inch pot. And the same is going to go for the baby plant. Give the plant bright light, water when 100% dry, and soak. Fully saturate all the soil. Every time you water a potted house plant, we're doing a full soak. We tell people that snake plants need to be 100% dry in between watering. That just means 100%. It doesn't need to go beyond 100%. Otherwise you end up with dry rot. Baby plant, mother plant. A successful separation.